A time always came in our life when we felt happiness because of circumstances of our loved ones. But the fact is, we also had an interest in it. Before we get into the story, hit the bell icon and subscribe to our channel for upcoming heart-shrinking stories. Suppose my ex-wife's name was Lily and I am Kevin, and she was 27 years old and I was 25 years old. Lily worked as an investment banker and I worked as a regular accountant in a company. Financially, I was having a difficult time, as my father was also a cardiac patient. It is very hard for me to cope with the expenses that went along with his treatment. It was also my mother who worked in a mart as a cashier. The last 2 years have been a struggle for us to cover all of the bills associated with my father's treatment. As a year ago, I've been employed by a company as an accountant. This was our first meeting and it was held in a restaurant. One of my friends told me that his company was offering a job opportunity and I went to meet him to check it out. There was also the possibility of being an accountant in the job, but they were offering a nice salary package along with some other perks as well. It was so important to me that I met with him and got all the details because I had to get that job. During my current job, I was working up to 10 hours a day, but the salary I received was quite low. After getting all the information from me, he left for his next destination. As I was sitting there, I noticed a girl sitting nearby this table and she was crying as well. When I saw her, I thought I should go to her and ask about the problem she was experiencing. It occurred to me that maybe she would not mind if I asked her if she did not mind if I did. I was about to leave, but my heart told me that it was better for me to go to her and ask her about what was bothering her. I went over to her table and asked her, and as expected, she responded rudely by saying that it was not your business, and if it was, then you would never understand what she was talking about. I said I am sorry, but it was just for a moment that I stood there watching you cry, then I came over and asked you about it. I apologized for the inconvenience I caused you. Just as I was about to leave, she called me and apologized for her bad behavior, saying that she had some issues that had caused her bad behavior. I sat down and listened to what she had to say. Apparently, she said that she lost her husband 2 years ago and that her current boyfriend dumped her a year later. In the midst of all of this, she was feeling very sad and alone. I said it is true that I don't know how to help you, but I would like to suggest you not to expect help from others and do not worry about people because God will choose someone who will be the most suitable for you, who would be able to come at any time of the day or night. As well as that, I gave her some examples of my own, and I told her all about the circumstances in which I found myself. And I also told her that it was because I was financially poor that my girlfriend left me when I almost needed her. As a result, I am still working day and night to get a stable position. As she relaxed a bit, she became less tense. In order to make her happy, I made some lame jokes. In the course of the conversation, she laughed a lot. I told her that everything would be fine as long as she relaxed. It was on that day that she got my phone number. In addition, I told her that whenever she needs to contact me, she should do so. My break was over and I had to leave for my job as soon as possible because I was running late. Next day, she called me and asked me to have lunch with her, but I was so busy on that particular day that I could not make it. In order to make amends, I apologized to her. A short while later, I came up with an idea, so I called her back and asked her to join me at the weekend if she was free. There were some plans I had in my mind. Asked about the plan, I replied that it was a surprise for her. She said, "Tell me the place where you would like to pick up and we'll go there together." After I shared the location with her, she came over to pick me up on the weekend. I was stunned when I saw that she arrived in a sports car. In fact, I had no idea until now that she was a rich woman. I thought it would be interesting to ask her what her profession is after we sat in the car for a while. In addition to being an investment banker, she said that her late husband left her a great deal of wealth. My appreciation goes out to her. Afterwards, she asked me where we would go if we were to go together. As I told her, she should drive and I would assist you in getting to the destination. Eventually, we reached a ride park where we were able to enjoy the rides. She was hesitant at first, but then we enjoyed a lot of time together. She actually enjoyed the roller coaster a lot and took a ride on it twice. Then we played some games on the stalls there, which was a lot of fun. There was a restaurant there where we had lunch after that. We went to watch a movie, which was a romantic movie that I had booked tickets for in advance. As she was dropping me off at my place after spending a whole day with me, she thanked me very much and she revealed that she had not had so much fun for the past many years. It was also because of her that she was so happy. As far as I am concerned, I had no plans like this, but I just happened to think of it randomly. We started our proper story from here onwards. Initially, we met on a casual basis. The fact that she was happy because of me made me very happy as well. It was always my goal to make her smile as much as possible. In addition to that, she once asked me about my father's hospital. So I told her I thought she might want to visit him someday. I was unaware that she would make a step which would be of great benefit to me, but it was beyond my knowledge that she could do such a thing. It was a day of billing clearance at the hospital, and I went to the counter to clear my bill that day. However, I unfortunately did not have the full payment, so I thought I should ask them to let me pay the remaining amount in the following installment, as I did not have the full payment. Upon reaching the counter, I was surprised to find that all my bills had been paid, which was a pleasant surprise. In order to find out who had paid these bills, I asked them. According to them, all those funds were paid by a woman by the name of Lily. There was a moment when I was stunned and wondered why she did this. As soon as I called her, I asked her to meet me. In order to meet me, she came over to my house. It was then that I asked her why she had done this. According to her, I thought it would be helpful for you if I would pay all the bills for you. As a mere friend of hers, I asked her the question, "That's what I want to know, had you done this? Could you please tell me how I returned a lot of money to you?" In order to return, it would take a great deal of time. As far as she is concerned, she did not pay for the return. It is not necessary for her to have money to live. In the course of the conversation, she revealed that she needed me. The first thing I asked was what that meant, as she said she loved me very much. As soon as I heard this, I was stunned. She then proposed me and said, "You told me on that day all these things, and you gave me hope, as she said that God would send someone to you who's just right for you, and according to her, she had found that person in you. That person was me, according to her. I was told that she would support me in everything I do. Because it was a sudden decision, I asked her to give me some time to think about it before making the decision. After reviewing my whole situation for the past 2 days, I have come to the conclusion that this would be a good opportunity for me. In the last 2 years, I have been struggling very hard and did not make any money, even though my financial crisis is the same. Therefore, I was able to come to a conclusion that I should marry her at the end of the day. There is no doubt that she would prove to be a great support to me in the future. After talking to her for a few minutes, I agreed to marry her. Then in this way, I was able to get married to Lily. My life changed in a special way after I got married. As soon as I moved into her vast mansion, I was blown away by its size. It was a blessing that she came into my life at that time. I found her to be very beneficial to me in many ways. Fortunately, she got a job in her HR department of a company where I was now in charge of HR. I was enjoying myself a lot as she was doing a lot of favors for me. Having made her happy, whatever it takes, is all I could ask for in return. She told me that she was in love with me, but to be honest with you, I did not think she loved me at all. However, she seemed to be okay, but I was just watching all the other pegs instead of really caring about her. We were also excited about the way our married life was going. Whenever I told what I wanted, she would always make sure to fulfill all my demands. As far as I know, the biggest thing she's done for my father is to make sure his hospital bills are paid properly by her, as she believes we are now her responsibility. The circumstances have changed in the past 6 months. There was a change in her behavior towards me. There was a feeling that she was getting bored with me now. There was not even a single time when she had romance with me, or whenever she had romance, she would complain about her satisfaction. It was my best effort to do my best. Eventually we came to conclusion that the frankness we had in the beginning had to come to an end. However, I had no problem with it since I did not even think she was that special to me to begin with. Considering that all of my requirements were being fulfilled, I cannot understand why I would complain about anything like this. However, there are still times when I feel that she's my wife and I have all the rights to her. After a while, however, she became distant from me due to a variety of reasons. As far as I was concerned, it did not really matter to me. It was only after I came home that I found a car parked outside of my house that I had never seen before. Lily was found in bed with another man when I went into the house out of curiosity. In fact, it was like I was speechless at that time, and my brain actually got stuck for a short time because of it. Immediately after that, I asked her outright what the hell was going on. I was told to leave right now, and she told me we would talk later. As I said, I am not able to understand what are you saying. What's the point of you saying that we have to speak later? The fact that I saw you in bed with another man is not a fucking problem for you to discuss with me. But I was told to leave now by her. The door was smashed and I left the room after that. There was a point when my brain was going to explode because of her confidence. How could she just say we would talk later while being pounded by another man? It was a traumatizing experience for me. As I came home in the evening, she was sitting on the couch. In other words, she sat to cave in. Listen to me carefully. It is important for me to be able to comfortable with all of this. I want a relationship in which I can do whatever I want as long as we both are comfortable. In response to what she said, I asked, "What the fuck are you trying to say? Don't you think what you're doing?" I shouted at her. She told me that if you don't want to continue this relationship with this condition, then you can leave and go back to your creepy old life. There was something about this thing that threw me, and I left the room without answering anything. I've been thinking about this for many hours. It became clear to me that if I were to leave her, then this would be a fact. It has come to the point where I have to go back to the life that I did not want to be in again. In this place, I've everything I need and all my needs are being met. There was no way I could continue to live that kind of life. As soon as I woke up the next morning, I went out to see her and told her that I had agreed to her condition. No matter what the case was, I eventually made the decision to continue my marriage with her. However, after a few weeks, my self-respect began cursing me whenever I saw her going to a room with a different man. During one of those nights, she demanded that I join her in a threesome with her. When I refused, she threatened to get a divorce if I continued to refuse. However, I unfortunately did so at that time with a broken heart, so I had to do it. I decided that night that I couldn't tolerate it anymore and just gave her a surprise which she would never be able to forget, and she would completely ruin her life. Several documents were prepared by me for her. Getting her signature on it was the main goal of the plan. As you can imagine, This was not an easy task to be completed. I decided to play a psychological game with her as a result. There were many times when she demanded that I join her for a threesome. It was at that point that I felt that it would be a good time for me to get the signs. I remember when I gave her a lot of pleasure during an encounter, and it was her habit that after a sexual encounter, she would become very soft-hearted. This is why I found it to be the perfect time to do it. I asked her to sign a few documents. Due to the fact that I intend to start a small business and I want you to become my partner. She said she would sign this tomorrow, but I insisted her to do it right now. It was necessary for me to submit some documents somewhere, so she signed them without asking any other questions. I was able to complete all the documentation after getting the signature. Then after 4 days, she came back home after work. In order to get her to read the documents, I gave her the documents. As she read it, she found it to be the divorce documents. This was taken very lightly by her, and she said that sure, you can go if you like. I appreciate your decision. If you don't mind reading a different document, I would prefer that you do so. While reading the pages in which it was written that she was giving me her entire fortune as a gift, she asked me what the hell is going on. Basically, I'm telling you what you're holding in your hands is a document that shows you gave me all your wealth. You can find your signature in the lower corner of the document. She saw with blown out eyes. In spite of the fact that she could not believe what I told her, I called my lawyer so that he could confirm to her that I was now the owner of the house. As soon as I had told her this, I told her to leave my property as soon as possible. There was no way she was going to leave my house. Fortunately, I was able to get out the building by calling the security. After a while, they threw her out of the building. To be honest, I wasn't able to do so, but she made me do it anyway. In addition to disrespecting me, she always made me do whatever she wants to force me to do. But now that I am free, I was ecstatic.